Hello and welcome to DroiX. We go back into the depths of gaming history for a fond look at a retro gaming console, computer or handheld, and then bringing the retro to present, we match it up with something modern to play the games on. The NEC PC Engine, also known as the TurboGrafx in USA, was launched in Japan in October 1987, with other countries waiting up to 3 years later. It's launched in 1989 in the USA, priced at $99.99, and was $10 more expensive than the Sega Genesis launched in the same month. The PC Engine is quite well known for having a lot of different models over the years. We have the CoreGrafx, SuperGrafx, Shuttle, TurboExpress, the LT, the Duo, and a bunch of third-party models. I have bought in just 3 of them. I don't have the full collection and we would be here all day talking about them. Instead, we have 3 of the more important models representing the main unique features. First, we have the PC Engine, which was released in Japan. The USA version looks a bit different to suit Western tastes, but it has the same functionality. The PC Engine was branded as a 16-bit console, but actually had an 8-bit CPU with dual 16-bit graphics processors. It has 8K of RAM and 64K of video RAM, and could display up to 482 colours on screen at once. Games come on a HuCard, also known as the turbo chip in the USA, which is the same physical size as a credit card, but a little thicker. This wasn't the first time cards have been used on consoles. It was first done on MSX computers and later on the SG and Master System series, which we will see in our upcoming Retro Present episode. They could hold up to 2.5 megs of data, but did not have the ability to save data. Next, we have the PC Engine Duo, which is an integrated PC Engine and CD-ROM unit. You could, however, buy the CD-ROM unit separately if you already had the PC Engine. This is the Duo R model, which had a few cosmetic changes over the Duo. It features an additional 192K of memory for the built-in operating system, so there is no need to use a HuCard for the CD-OS like the separate unit. And finally, we have the TurboExpress. It was a fully featured PC Engine handheld which you could play all of your cards on. It has a 2.6 inch 400 by 270 resolution backlit LCD display, which other handhelds such as the Game Boy did not have. For its time, it was an amazing piece of kit, but it was prone to dead pixels as LCD technology was in the early stages. Playing some games was near impossible as the text was not easily readable on such a small screen. And let's not forget the batteries. It ate its way through 6 AA batteries which last up to 2 to 3 hours. There's many other models including the SuperGrafx, which had more RAM and improved CPU, but not many games were released on this to take advantage of. There is also the PC Engine LT, which is a PC Engine with built-in flip-up screen in a clamshell style case. It was and still is mega expensive, so if you want to buy me a Christmas present, this is top of my list. Over 600 games were released across the HuCard, SuperGrafx and CD-ROM formats. NEC and HudsonSoft both published their own games, as did many third-party companies including Konami, Bandai, Data East, Irem and Taito. There are so many great games released on the PC Engine, I don't know where to begin. You have Bomberman, Adventure Island, Alien and Devil's Crush, then arcade conversions such as R-Type, Galaga, Final Lap, Gradius, Splatterhouse and Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. The list goes on. For the PC Engine CD based games, it was aimed more towards the Japanese market with comparatively fewer releases in the USA. But there were still some decent games including Castlevania Rondo of Blood, side-scrolling shooter Gate of Thunder and the RPG series Ys Book 1 and 2. For arcade fans like myself, the PC Engine remains a console associated with great arcade ports. It definitely has a place in my top consoles to come back to and play for hours. I did not have a PC Engine back in the day, instead having a Mega Drive around that time, but I can remember the import games guy at Hackney Wick Market and wanting some of those great arcade ports. The PC Engine was sadly discontinued in 1994 and saw over 6.9 million sold, which is a good showing. If you are interested in buying the original hardware, you're looking at around £100 for a PC Engine console, £200 for a fully working Duo R, and anything from £300 to £600 for a TurboGrafx depending on the condition. You can usually pick up HuCards for as little as £5, ranging up to £60 for the rarer titles. For the CD games, you can get the Japanese ones for dirt cheap and the US or rarer titles for a bit more cash. Overall, it's not a bad system to build up a nice collection for. If you want to play these great classic games on something a bit more modern, then the RG351V is a great choice. We went with the vertical orientation to keep in theme with the TurboGrafx, but the RG351P or M are essentially the same but in horizontal orientation. The PC Engine does not require an ultra-fast processor to emulate games on. It is more than capable of running the games for both HuCard and CD. You can watch our full review of the RG351V to see all of the details and what it supports. The link is in the description and at the end of the video. Let's first take a look at some of the features of the RG351V. There's a 3.5 inch 640 by 480 IPS display, which looks amazing not just for PC Engine but on all consoles. The display is crystal clear and the colours look great, and most importantly you can read the text on games, which did have issues on the original TurboGrafx handheld. The original PC Engine had just 2 gaming buttons and was later updated to 6. You can switch between these while in game. The Anbernic model does have a single analog stick, which you can use instead of the D-pad if you feel more comfortable to use that instead. In terms of performance and compatibility, you should have absolutely no issues at all with either HuCard or CD based games. It uses the Beetle PCE emulator and is well known for its performance and few, if any, issues with games. It simply works as if you were playing on the original console. One thing of note is that the PC Engine did not generally support game saves due to the HuCard physical size, and instead games would use password text style saves, which you would have to write down. You can do it the traditional way, or you can use the emulator's save state feature, which allows you to save exactly where you are in the game at any time. You can then load and resume the save state at a later date from exactly where you left off. It's definitely faster than making a note of the often long strips of alphanumeric characters. Another great feature is the ability to connect over the internet with another player to play multiplayer games. The PC Engine had a multi-tap style expansion, allowing for up to 5 players on supported games. All it requires is a Wi-Fi connection and for each player to be using the same ROM file. You can be blowing up each other on Bomberman within a few minutes. I think that outside Japan, the PC Engine was overshadowed by the Genesis and later the Super Nintendo. This is a real shame as there are some amazing games and arcade ports to discover. If you have always fancied checking out what the PC Engine has to offer, then the RG351V or horizontal models are the perfect place to get started with. We have only mentioned and shown just a handful of games for you to try, so there's no better time to check them out. You won't be disappointed. You can learn more about the RG351V at DroiX.net, And don't forget to use the discount code RETROPRESENT on the checkout for a 5% discount. That wraps up this Retro Present episode. We hope you have enjoyed it. Let us know if you have a suggestion for a retro console to cover in a future episode. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already, and we hope to see you back in the next video.